Hey guys, what's happening? It's Sean1604 coming at you with my sixth part of my Swansea City Football Manager 2013 save. This is the first part of my second season. So last done video we done was the part 5, the season roundup of the first season, where we finished, I believe, something like 17th or 16th, or I can't actually remember where, but yeah, that's where we finished, obviously, and managed to stay in the league, which is good. I got an extra new contract for 3 years, and hopefully we can build and push the club further forward. The first thing I thought I'd show, which I forgot to show in that video, was the players, not players, what am I talking about? The teams that got promoted from the Championship, and just so you know who's obviously in the Premier League now. So you can see there, if you look, Nottingham Forest and Blackburn were the two automatic winners of promotion, and Watford, who finished third, were the eventual playoff winners as well. So well done to them, obviously. So we have Nottingham Forest, Blackburn and Watford, who were promoted. Obviously we're now in played about a month or maybe 2 months of the season, so the first thing we'll go through, before we go through the fixtures or anything like that, we'll go through the transfers for the obviously the off season or the summer season or whatever you want to call it. We'll go through those first of all. I'll show you the overview, and then I'll go through and talk about the different signings that we've made. Okay, so here's the overview of what we've done so far. I'll go through obviously the signings first of all, and we'll talk about them a wee bit, and then we'll go over to the outgoings. So the first player we brought in was Vladimir Weiss from Pescara. He's a former Rangers player. He was obviously a Man City youth player, and Rangers loaned him, and then he went, I think Pescara bought him, and we were needing a winger, and we were struggling a wee bit, which I'll come on in a wee second why, and we needed a good winger. He came up on my radar, got him for 5.75 million. He is a pretty decent player. I think he's got some, obviously, 4-star potential. He's still quite young, he's only 23, and I'm quite happy with what I got him for. So you can see from his stats, he's good acceleration, good pace, which is what you need on the wing, and he can play anywhere in the top sort of 6 positions, the attacking positions that you would want that player to play for. So really happy with that signing. Also bought in Asaidi from Liverpool. He came up on my radar. They were selling him for under what he was worth. I believe he was worth about 5 million in terms of his value, but I think his contract might have been coming to an end. Again, I thought, why not? I needed a couple of good wingers to push me forward because of the style of play that I'm trying to bring to the club. And Asaidi is I think he's a good player. Again, he's only 25, and considering I got him for 3.2 million, quite a bit under what he was worth at the time. I think he was worth about 5 million. He's now 4.3, whatever. But he was worth more than what I got him for, so I was really happy about that. And he signed for me over a couple of other teams that were looking for him. So again, I was really happy that I managed to bring him in. Again, he can play in most attacking positions up there, and I'm obviously going to try and train him to maybe play in the middle, central attacking mid as well. Next we have Francisco Ficari, I can't really say that, but he brought him in for 1.4 million. He's a youth player. He's away out on loan at the moment at Chesterfield. I can't honestly remember what his potential was. I think it was somewhere around 4.5 star potential. 1.4 million. I'm quite happy with that. He's only 16, obviously, so he's one of the youth players. Hopefully, be coming through in the next couple of seasons. Abbas or Civet Akbas. Really not too great with these names. Brought him in for 110k from Bao. I'm really happy with that. Again, the player's only 17. He's worth 130k already, even though he's only 17. I think he was one of the really good players that we brought in. Again, maybe 4.5 star potential, somewhere around about that. He's on loan at Millwall. They're playing him as, I think, a top, or playing them as their maybe main goalkeeper or back up to their main goalkeeper. And only 17. You can't complain about that. Next ones were puns that we probably had already spoken about in previous videos that we were bringing in on frees, and one that we'd already signed. So we have Bruno Martins-Indi, who's left back and central defender, 4.5 star potential, 21. I got him for free, so can't complain about that. He's only on 19, just under 20 grand a week, so really happy with that signing. I obviously already spoke about him. I think I've already spoke about João Suarez as well. Suarez. I can't. Nope, not trying to say it. Attacking mid. For look at stats, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange stats. Including acceleration and fitness, and he's only 18. So considering I got him on a free, either we'll turn a profit on him or he'll turn into be a really good player depending on how often we get to play him. Again, I'm not too sure if I went through these guys, so if I have, I do apologise, but I'm going to just quickly go through them again. Juan Jose Pinto, who we got in on a free as well. Again, good potential, 4-star, didn't want to pass him up because we do need some squad depth, even if he's playing in reserves. We've got him there as a backup in case we lose any of our main central defenders. This was a signing I made early on, we were waiting on bringing in Mattia Perrin, 4.4 million. 20-year-old goalkeeper, already looking pretty decent, and he's played a few games because Michael Vorm was out injured, and I think he's actually keeping Michael Vorm out of the team at the moment, which shows you how well he's played. We'll see that in a minute when we come on and look at the games. He's played really well. He's still only young as well, so I'm really happy with that. We were a wee bit light in the middle of the park. I think I said that at the beginning of the last video, or the end of the last video, I'm not sure. I said we were a wee bit light in the middle of the park, so I thought we'd bring in a couple of extra players so we had a wee bit of depth there. So these aren't really main signings, they're not going to be there in the long run, but they are good signings. So Samba Diakite from QPR for 675k, 3.5-star potential, so not bad. He's not a bad player. He's 24, so he's not really going to be progressing all that much. Maybe he's got another couple of seasons of progression, but half decent player. I'm happy to bring him in for that, and he can play in the central defensive mid and central mid as well. So he's got good physical stats, which means he should hopefully do a job for us in there. We also put in Tom Huddleston for a loan fee of 60k a month, which I'm quite happy with. Again, 3-star potential, but he's got good physical stats, and he's, I was never going to bring him in on a long-term deal, but Tottenham were looking at loaning him out, and I thought, why not? Again, good to have him on squad depth. So go on to the sellings quickly. Sellings, I keep saying that. Outgoings is probably the better word. So we had a lot of players leave on frees, which obviously I'm not going to go over, because they're just like young players that we got rid of at the end of the season who obviously weren't going to make it. Wayne Routledge went to Everton for 4 million. Didn't see him being in the team long term, which is one of the reasons obviously brought in Vladimir Weiss and Asaidi. Another one was that it wasn't Lama. I can't always remember the last video who it was. There was a player that we had who was on loan, and can't remember who he was on loan from, but he was going back to his team, and he's a Canadian guy. It's going to annoy me, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he had to go back because we could get him for 5 million. He was worth 6.7 or something, 6.5, and we can get him for 5. So I thought, right, we'll buy him. And then he was wanting something ridiculous like 45 grand a week or something, which our team we could force paying that, but I didn't really want to, because he was never worth 45 grand a week. So he's a way back to his parent club. What else have we got here? Dwight Tiandali. I don't know. He went to Crystal Palace for 825k. Again, didn't see him being at the club long term. We've got a good couple of youth players in there at right back, so including obviously you've got Coke, who we showed in the last video, who's one of our good signings that we made, and he's obviously playing well. And we've got Robin Budwalda, who's the other guy who we brought in, who's a youth player who could develop to be pretty good. Other main ones, outgoings, these are obviously all frees and loans. Chico, who went to Mainz for 5.75 million, really happy with that business, because he was not doing a job for me, and I'm glad to see the back of him, to be perfectly honest with you. All I did was make mistakes and cause disruption, and not too happy with what he was doing. So anyway, all these youth players that we brought in, Andrew Black, Ryan Gold, Luke Llewellyn, the players that we brought in, who were looked like they had really good potential, setting them out on loan to decent teams. So Coventry, Leicester, Millwall, all these players are really good. All these teams are obviously pretty good. Notts County, Andrew Black went on loan to them for, I think that's only about a month loan, so he could be back pretty soon. But that's quite good, they'll get some development time. I'm quite happy with that. So that's the roundup of the summer transfers. So we spent 15.5 million, and we brought in 10.5, so we only spent technically about £5 million. We've still got 4.62 to spend, and we've got a pretty decent chunk of a wage budget, but I'm not going to be spending any more money. Obviously we're outside the transfer window now anyway. I'm not going to be spending any more money, because although the club's finances look okay, I'm not sure what happened with the TV money, because the TV money didn't seem to inject money as I would normally expect if I have a look here on the finances. Our projected balance is only 12.29 million, which kind of concerns me a wee bit, to be honest. We've got a lot of sponsorship deals, which is pretty good, but the income it jumped a wee bit, but I didn't really see it jump right up. We're supposed to get like 50 million or something, I think it said, from TV money, and I don't know if you don't get it at the beginning of the season or if you get it towards the end of the season or what, but I've not seen it come in, which kind of concerns me a wee bit because we were in the red for quite a wee while. So I need to keep an eye on that, to be honest with you. I'm just a wee bit concerned that something maybe went wrong there, but we'll see. It's probably just me being silly, to be honest, but it does concern me just a tad. So we'll jump on now and we'll look at the fixtures. I'll go through them one by one and then I'll show an overview, which I haven't done before, but I'll do that if I remember to do it this time so we can see the overview of what we've done. I'm not going to go through the friendlies, obviously, but we'll go through the rest of the game. Okay, so the first game of the season was a 0-0 draw at home to Fulham. So not overly happy, not overly disappointed. First game of the season, players still need to wake up and get used to the fact that we're back playing football. So gusty, wet day, you can see there as well. So a bit of a miserable day, but not too bad a result. Fulham were about where we were in the table last season, so I would hope to beat them at home, to be perfectly honest with you. But what can you do? It's a bit of a boring one. I'm not going to talk about it too much. A little bit of a disappointing result, second game of the season here. We went down 2-1 away from home at Aston Villa. Darren Bent and Christian Benteke getting some goals in the 47th and 67th minute. Miku did get one back, which is nice to see. He was scoring early on in the season, which he didn't do too much last season. And he got in the score sheet in the 71st minute, but we couldn't push and get another goal, which was a bit unfortunate. So it's a wee bit of a bad start, a draw and a loss in the first two games. At this point, this is the third game of the season, which is Carling Cup's second round game against Coventry. I was a wee bit, how should I put it, a little bit concerned about the way the team is performing, to be honest with you. We eventually managed to come through this. We went down 1-0 in the 56th minute to go against Gary McSheffrey, and Osuma Asaidi picked up a goal in the 76th minute, so at least took it to extra time, and we did eventually score in the 115th minute. Ashley Williams, the captain, the main man, the central defensive king, he picked up a goal in the 115th minute, so we managed to scrape through, and I will reiterate, we scraped through that, so at least we're in the next round, and we'll show you in a second who we got in the third round. We'll jump on to the next game of the season now. So this is a pretty decent result. 0-0 again at home to Stoke. So we are still struggling a wee bit in terms of scoring goals, but at least we didn't lose the game. Stoke are a pretty decent team, obviously, and I do think they had the majority of the game, the possession, things like that. You can see here, well, to be fair, we had more possession, but they had more shots, 11 and 5 instead of we had 7 and 2. So they did have a little bit more of the game in terms of shots. So not too bad about coming out on draw with that. You can see here there, that's what I was talking about, Mattia Perrin getting a 7.7 rating. He's done really well this season so far. He was staying playing in the beginning of the season because Michael Vaughan was still a little bit injured. Next up, we had the first win of the season, which was at away from home against Watford. So it was 2-0. Pretty good result. We scored early on. Miku and Tony Watt getting a goal, 9th and 22nd minute. We couldn't add to it, which is a wee bit disappointing, but still really good. Still really happy to get the result from that, especially away from home. Watford are a half decent team. Obviously they were promoted last season, so we would hope to be beating these teams. But not too overly concerned about that. It was a pretty decent start to the season, or decent game. Sorry. So it was the first win of the season, is what I meant to say there. Tommy Hoban even was going home to his previous club, so that was interesting. I did play him as well because I believe Ashley Williams might have been injured. So Tommy Hoban got his game against his former club and we did well. We won 2-0, which I was really happy with. And the last game that we've played up to now was the 2-0 home win against Newcastle, which I was really happy with because I think we lost 2 games, if not maybe 3, I think probably 2 games to Newcastle last season pretty convincingly. So this was a really good result. Drew Donnelly getting a penalty in the 2nd minute and Liam Britton picking up a goal in the 34th minute, and we pretty much coasted the game. I was really happy with how we played in this game. I think we controlled it pretty well. Tweaking my formation a wee bit and we seem to be gelling a wee bit more, so I'm quite happy with that. Again, Mattia Perrin with a clean sheet, so he's had quite a few clean sheets as you've seen there, and he's not let in too many goals. I think he's only let in 2 goals maybe or something like that. So not came up against any big teams as of yet, really big teams as of yet. So we'll go into the league and you'll see where we're sitting in the league at the moment. So we're sitting 7th, which is really good start. Obviously we would hope to be up that high though, because as you've seen, we've not played any Liverpools or Man Uniteds or anything like that yet. So that when that starts to kick in, then we might take a wee bit of a battering. But we did really well against the big teams last season, so you never know. Hopefully we can continue that form on to this season, and we still managed to push on. So Chelsea are currently leading with 10 points. Obviously Man City, Stoke up there as well. Down the bottom you've got Newcastle, West Ham and Fulham look to be the teams that are struggling a wee bit, but obviously it's still quite early on in the season. We've only played 5 games. The good thing from my point of view, is that our goal difference is definitely better at this point, +3, which I'm really happy with. So we've only let in 2 goals, scored 5, so not scored too many, but we've not conceded a lot either. We're joint lowest, I think, with Stoke. So we've got the best defensive record, joint defensive record with Stoke. So really happy with that. The players are obviously defending really well. We just need to try and push on and score a bit more goals. So that's where we are in the league. If we go back and we will look at the fixtures. So obviously you can look at the friendlies here if you want. They weren't really too big a deal. We're just playing some. We're in America. We've got a training camp in America, so we're playing a couple of games there. We played Liverpool. We beat Liverpool 2-1, which was pretty decent in a friendly. Unfortunately, we drew Tottenham. Out of all the teams you can get in the third round of the Carling Cup, we drew Tottenham. So there you go. The next update will probably be around, I would think, the end of January, after the transfer window. Not too sure what's going to be going down, if we're going to be doing any deals at that point, or whether we're just going to be happy with the way the squad's sitting. We'll see how obviously the next load of games go. So we've got Wigan, Tottenham, Man City. This is where our hard run starts. If you look, Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, 4 games. So that's a really hard run. Then we're back to West Brom, Norton Forest, and Blackburn, West Ham, Norwich. So that's pretty good. I've got a quite good and Norwich, and Southampton. So those games are all very winnable. And then we go back to Arsenal, Man United, Everton. So they seem to be in blocks of hard or not so hard games. We might call them not so hard, but a little bit easier than the other ones. So hope you're enjoying the save so far. This is obviously the first update of the second season. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment. It really helps me out. There's guys that have posted on my previous video saying that they're really enjoying it, and they spent a full day watching the videos, which is great. That's music to my ears. It really makes me want to do the videos. Not managed to get a video out for a little while because I've been busy in the last week doing different things, so not managed to get one out for a wee bit of time, but this one will be up hopefully when I get posted tonight, and we might try and get another video out at some point later on in the week hopefully. So yeah, don't forget to leave a like and leave a comment, and really happy watching the videos, guys. Cheers for that, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.